Hey guys, Dana here with the Kentucky Doom Scrollers podcast. Welcome back to my very extravagant living room setup. And we are going to be talking about something today. It is for adults only. If you are not 18 or you are immature or you are a creep or something, please, by all means, this is your opportunity to see your way out. We're going to be talking about the sexualization within the public education system, the history of it, and some local connections, our own experience. We're going to be really doing a deep dive. This is not meant to denigrate teachers in general. I think that, however, the teachers of yesteryear are gone, if they ever existed. If that wasn't okay. Public education system was set up by one of the wealthy banking families that you're undoubtedly familiar with. Behind those banking families, though, are the elusive 13 bloodlines of the Illuminati. The people that instituted public education did so with a very specific goal in mind. And what we're seeing today is not some oopsie, this happened thing. This is actually part of trauma-based mind control and protecting through tenure teachers that have these habits. It's about Catholic schools charging parents all this money for a private education and then handing them over to P3DOs that have been shipped from parish to parish. I mean, these stories go back and they're inherent in public education. And I don't think there's a way out of it. I think we almost have to clean slate. Everybody re-interviews for their job, and based on their qualifications and how many weirdo freaking complaints there are, you should be banned from education across the board anywhere, or from being around children, for God's sakes. We're going to talk today about a music assignment that was given to 7th grade students at a public school. I forget if it was Maryland or Massachusetts, but it is trust me, some state. Let me pull it up here for you guys. I appreciate you. Tell me what, in your experience, let's say, reactions, where do I get to sharing my board? I'm sorry, guys. Give me just a second. I'm not used to. Usually I have an option to see if this expands a little. Okay, host only. Be patient with me, guys. I'll be right back. All right, thank you so much for working through the technical difficulties and the elusive, never-ending brain farts. If I ever get a chance to, if I can ever remember to tell you the way my brain was scrambled in a clinical experiment, it's a good story. Anyway, this is the assignment that was given to 7th grade music students. So again, we're talking about kids that are around 12, 13 years old. All I know is that it was in a private school. I did reach out to the mother personally. I haven't heard back from her to let her know that this is kind of not going viral, but that people are beginning to take notice of these things more and more, and that the more people like her that speak out, the better it is for those of us who had these stories in the past, because it kind of legitimizes these trends, right? And besides Catholic priests being frequently accused of sexual misconduct with children, there's an awful lot of that going on in public schools right now. And I have a couple theories for why that is, but let's review this. For sexual language and music, they had to select 4 to 6 songs that contain messages about sexuality, bring equipment to play the songs, the lyrics to 2 of the songs, loose leaf paper, newsprint markers, masking tape. Preparation, read the workshop plan, decide together how to define leadership responsibilities. Post the circles of sexuality and group covenant charts. Now, I'm super curious what that might look like. Wish they'd have had an example here to make it easier for us amateurs to uncover these things. It says, for breaking the language barrier, write the following headings on 4 sheets of newsprint. Is that what we call paper? The language of science, childhood language, street language, common discourse. And for sexual language and music, select 5 or 6 songs that contain messages about sexuality. At least one song should be currently popular by currently popular musician. So what, like Cardi B and WAP? Would that be like what we're talking about here? And is this teacher's excuse going to be, oh, well, they're listening to this stuff anyway, so I figure they'd just take a critical eye to it. 12-year-olds. We're talking about 12-year-olds. Okay. Just a reminder, this is not, yeah. Okay. My eyes, oh my God. Select 5 or 6 songs that contain messages about sexuality, one by a currently popular musician, blah. If your familiarity with music is limited, ask participants for suggestions ahead of time or do an internet search on phrases like songs about being gay, lesbian, bisexual, or queer, or search songs about sex. He's he's telling a 12-year-old to Google, I say he, could be a she, to Google songs about sex. If that doesn't ring some alarm bells for you, what actually would? Okay. Choose 2 of them, play the group. Locate the lyrics to all the songs you choose. Create a complete packet of lyrics for each of the small groups you intend to form. Lyrics are available online. Okay, let's try and take this back. And hopefully this camera will come back as well. Sorry, you guys. I'm doing the best I can with the equipment that I got. So we're talking about 7th grade students. And again, I have a 7th grade student. This is not my school. I don't know this mom personally. However, it seems that quite a few people in the group that they posted this in did. She does appear to be an actual real life person. This is not, to the best of my knowledge, any kind of propaganda. I actually showed this to my homeschooled 8th grader to ask her thoughts, and her immediate thoughts were that, if, let's see, maybe I'll get real close. There we go. I'm trying to make this camera work with me, you guys. Sorry. Probably seems a little vain. That's why I'm not a professional here by any stretch of the imagination. To suggest to 12-year-olds that they go home and Google songs about sex in the event that they are not already familiar with songs about sex, it presupposes an awful lot of things. I think one of the reasons we're seeing the proliferation of these kinds of ideas is tied back directly to eugenics, to Rockefeller, the Rothschilds being directly and indirectly responsible for these trends through private public partnerships like the World Economic Forum, the UN, etc. If you're not at the point in your conspiracy theory journey where you fully understand that, we can explore that in another video, but I'm telling you right now, for entertainment purposes only, allegedly tinfoil hat on, that's some true shit right there. The push towards the trans and queer agenda, though, I think is a little bit more insidious because it is peripherally targeting children. And what has happened is there's been such an incredible exodus of qualified teachers from within many school systems, even within private schools. Wages are not keeping up with cost of living raises and such. Join the club. But in some areas, they are accepting teachers that have a degree in anything. As long as you have a bachelor's degree in something, you can be a teacher. It's kind of incredible to me because I feel like teaching in a public education system was such a specialized thing, and you kind of really had had to have a heart for teaching. And I've been lucky in the sense that I've always been a good student. I've always been able to participate in academic honors courses and scholarship opportunities. So I don't necessarily think that I'm particularly smart in that way, but I think I had a lot of great positive feedback from teachers, and it made me have a hunger and a thirst for learning. And like that never really stopped. And now it's more when I go into a deep dive on a topic like a rabid chihuahua, like I cannot let go of the story. And um this now brings me back to when my daughter was in fourth grade. So we're talking 4 years ago. Same eighth grader who made these comments. She said, she's like, I feel like it would be appropriate if it was an adult class, like in college or something. And it was like about sexuality and like they were doing that. She's like, but I don't see like how or why we'd ever get an assignment like this, like at our age. That's crazy. Like some people don't, like they're so sheltered, like they don't know. There's some deeply fundamental religious families here. And so there are children that are there, Amish children that are there that don't know about sex at the age of 12. And again, this didn't happen to me. The story, the page that I just showed you, that's not near me. But what did happen back when we were living in Philadelphia, where they were in a charter school, which is a public private quasi school. It's them trying to take the best of private school by having actual disciplinary measures that they can act on, and the best of the public education system in terms of curriculum and grants and things like that. So they were in a charter school, and they were all of the fourth grade students. There were 3 classes. Every person was assigned a person, a media personality was the way they described it. And some people got, now fourth grade, some people got Justin Timberlake, Sylvester Stallone. I'm trying to think of some of the ones I remember with absolute certainty. And Kim Kardashian was one. I'll have to ask her what the other ones were when she. Needless to say, these are not historical academic figures. Okay, these are not. Oh, I don't know. I hope y'all can hear me. Is this? Yeah, I'm getting weird messages from my computer. Anytime I try to talk about this stuff, you guys, there's like technical difficulties out the butt. It's so weird. Because we're allowing teachers in that have bachelor's degrees, and because so many people have found themselves out of work and with completely useless bachelor's degrees, we have an influx of teachers that are not necessarily qualified, nor do they have a heart and a desire for educating young students. And when you get to the age of like middle school, kids become a whole different demographic, because they're like they're smart and savvy enough to know what's going on. You can't bullshit them the way you can a little kid, but also they are technically children. Hey, Ash, do you remember some of the other people that were, when you had that assignment, that were part of it? I remember Justin Tim, Katy Perry. Was Bill Gates one of them? Yes. Bill Gates. Okay. Steve Jobs was one of them. So some of these are like, I mean, the idea is that they were successful media. Obama. That's a president. Sure. Obama. Absolutely. 100% on board. Yeah. But could you imagine if they did that today at NFCS and they assigned the orange man bed to like, would the parents would be like, they'll be bad. All right. So anyway, you get the point. It's these kind of like media characters. Some of them are obviously historical figures, or they have it theoretically had something of value to add to society. So she gets Cher. And I'm already going, hold on. I mean, she's in the news all the time for supporting things that are definitely part of the rainbow flag agendas, as far I'm going to say. And here's my disclaimer too. This is not meant to be anti-trans or anti-gay or anti-whatever. There was a picture, and I wish I would have thought enough to save it. Did I save it? Let's see if I did. Screen share. No, I didn't. So it's a picture that asks about, says, what are my political leanings? And then it's a t-shirt, and it says, I think gay couples should be able to protect their marijuana plants with guns. Like, it's a libertarian point of view that I tend to take towards these things, because I'm socially pretty liberal. I'm fiscally conservative. So that lands me somewhere in the middle with all of those crazy libertarians, right? But we go and we look up Cher. and the first page is like, images, they have the spread. It's images, it's articles. It's a lot of stuff about her supporting her trans child, although I don't know if that was going on back then. However, Cher has been known as an iconic female vocalist, and she's got a set of lungs. She can sing. I am not knocking her talent. I am not knocking her success in any way. But what I am saying is that she's been a vocal member of the Rainbow Coalition since the dawn of her career. And it would be no surprise that when your mother, who's a narcissistic hero for the Rainbow Brigade, isn't paying attention to you, what do you do but turn into a member of the Rainbow Brigade so that your narcissistic mother would then be proud of you? Like, it's very, this to me is very clearly an unhealthy relationship that they have. Back to Cher now as a person, of course, it talks about all the great things that she's done. And we look up images, and I go to the first page of images, and it's, like a whole bunch. One of the first page of images, her tits are just right out there. And I was like, oh, hold on a minute now. So save the image, call my husband, ready to flip my shit. He talks me up the ledge, but he's pissed. We decide we're going to go ahead and write an email to the teacher. We write an email to the teacher, and we're like, her bare breasts were out. Here's the image that we found. My, again, fourth grade. So we're talking what, like 9, 8, 9, 10-year-old shouldn't be subjected to that. This is crazy. Let's pick someone else. And he's like, okay, we understand, blah, 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 blah. I'm sure you can research Cher today, though, in fourth grade at the school. And we end up getting Shirley Temple. We start looking up Shirley Temple, though, and one of the first movies she was ever in was called Baby. Well, it was something. They're all in underwear. They're all in lingerie. It's all these little kids, and they tell the story as if these kids are adults. So they have the kids acting and walking. Baby burlesque. Thank you. Burlesque is like a more artistic striptease, sometimes without the nudity, but all the way down to like the absolute bare necessities being covered, if that is enough. That's what a burlesque show entails now if you were to go see one on the Las Vegas Strip. So this movie then her first movie was called Baby Burlesque, where she's dressed up essentially as a loose lady. And it's very, very sad to see and important to know that these Hollywood characters are many times the victims as much they are the perpetrators. When you see people allegedly that make it big in the music world, in the music industry, they become producers and they start to get labels and they start to make clothes and they start to get brand deals. When you see all of that, you can almost be rest assured that person's programming, the MK Ultra, whatever it is, beta sex kitten programming, whether it's mockingbird programming, whatever kind of fear and trauma-based mind control programming they have under these children when they're handed over at the age of 2 or 3 to be dressed like whores on a big screen. When you hand your child over at that age, they're victims. Then when they gain that kind of success as adults and they take off like that, you can almost be rest assured they've now turned into perpetrators. So we really need to side-eye these people super, super duper hard, okay? We need to side-eye teachers that are suggesting these kinds of things. We got to side-eye a school system that thinks it's appropriate to have fourth graders looking up Kim Kardashian when she literally got popular because her mother sold a sex tape to the paparazzi to get her name out there in the news cycle, guys, allegedly for entertainment purposes only. It's time to start side-eyeing these people, ask more questions, be more public. Don't be afraid to say what happens. Reach out to me. If you don't want to be anonymous, but you want to share a piece of information with me, please, by all means, please reach out to me anytime. I'm going to leave my socials below. Best way to get in contact with me at this point is probably Facebook, or leave your email in a comment, and I will be sure to reach out to you from the Kentucky Doom Scrollers Kentucky Doom Scrollers at gmail.com is the email to reach out to the channel directly. If you have an interesting story to share, I would appreciate your feedback. If you've made it this far, please like shallow. Huh, I guess it is shallow. Please like, follow, share, subscribe, all of the things. I appreciate you being respectful in the comments, and Rumble, if you actually allow me to post this kind of content. The words I say may be sexual in nature, but it is meant to describe a situation in the plainest terms that I can to communicate with my grand audience. I have 9 followers, which actually it boggles my mind that that many people would care what I have to say about anything. So if you guys leave comments below about topics you'd like to see me explore in the future, I would be 100% on board with that. And I would definitely do a deep dive video on your behalf. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Today is Tuesday, January 30th, 2024. Ben Shapiro is a #1 rap artist. And that's how fucked up things are today. Take it easy. Don't let the psyops run away from you, okay?